Hi, it's Samantha with Stamp School. You can find us online at www.stampschool.com. Today I'm going to show you how I did the twine part of this balloon card. A while back on our Facebook page I asked a question about whether you prefer twine or ribbon, I think, and a lot of people said they really like twine but they're not always sure how to use it. So this is one of my favorite things to do with twine, is to fill in an image with it, to give it sort of just a fun and different look than coloring it in with inks. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. To do something like this, you only need a few things. You need a stamp that you want to fill in, your piece of paper. I'm using Sweet Tooth from Stamp School today, and some liquid glue, and your twine. I'm going to do this. I used a light pink and a dark pink. I'm going to show you today with just the dark pink twine because it shows up a little bit better on film. You'll be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better. I'm using the balloon image from Stamp School's Hannah Flying a Kite set. This image actually has a little piece here that goes through her hands. You can tape that off, or because I knew I wanted to do this a number of times, I actually cut the stamp, but if you don't want to do that, go ahead and just tape it off with a little bit of tape when you're inking it up. I used gray ink here, and I stamped my image 3 times. For this particular one, I like to start with sort of a scratch sheet of paper if I don't know exactly what my card's going to look like in the end or what size image I want, and then I can cut down my paper to the size that I want for the card then. To start this off, you're going to take your liquid glue and you're going to put a nice little dab right in the center of one of your balloons. And that's a little bit more than you might want. You don't have to use a whole ton because you can always add glue as you go. You're going to want to keep it away from the very edges because your glue is going to kind of smush out a bit as you put your twine on. I like to work from the center. I just find it's easier and gives me nice little clean edges. And I use my toothpick to hold my center down. Now, if you've got all the time in the world, you can wait for that little spot of glue to dry on your twine. But if you're doing it for a video like me and you have to move on right away, then you just start turning. But if you have time, you can wait for this little bit to sort of dry up for you. It'll make turning easier and you're going to be less likely to get glue on your fingers. And I've just got a piece of paper towel here to wipe my fingers off on too, because if you get glue on your fingers, you're going to end up carrying it over onto other pieces of your paper there. And then you just start winding around. Because my shape here isn't a perfect circle, because it's a bit more of a oval shape, once I get it going, I'm going to smush it a little bit so it's more of an oval than a circle. And then you just keep spinning. Now, if you run out of glue, what I like to do is take a piece of scratch paper. If you have one of these slip mats, you can do it right on there. I hate cleaning that up. I would rather just throw a piece of paper out when I'm done. This is a piece of scratch paper. It actually is just a send home note from my kids' school that I don't need anymore. So nothing fancy. And I just pick a little bit of it up with my toothpick and put my glue down where I might need it. And then I go back to spinning it around. More glue on the edge here. When you get to the end, where we're almost at, you're going to clip it just a teeny bit longer than you actually want it. I want to clip my end off, so I'm going to take good scissors, and it's just going to be the tiniest bit longer than I want it. Because what I'm going to do then is get a little more glue on my toothpick, and I'm going to get that end a little bit of glue on it. And I'm going to kind of tuck it up in and under a bit so you don't see your edges. So it looks like one pretty continuous piece. Now you'll do that again for all 3 of yours, and you'll end up with 3 little balloons. I also wanted to show you, you don't have to necessarily do this with balloons. I've done it with berries. One of the first ones I ever did was a cherry on a birthday card. So there's lots of different things you can do for that, use this for. The easiest shape to do is a circle, but as you get used to it, like I said, you saw, I went from a circle and I sort of just smushed it in to give you that oval shape. And so as you get used to doing it, you can kind of bend it and shift it. I've seen people do stars with this, so your imagination is kind of the only limit on this. It's a really fun, easy technique to do. If you have any questions about how it's done, if I didn't cover something, feel free to leave me a comment. And thanks for stopping in today.